The number came out this week and it is so clean it almost looks like a typo. 96%. 96% of every wallet that touched Pump.fun in a single month ended that month in the red, or scraped together less than $500. Nearly half just flat out lost money. 1 month. That is not a bad run. That is not a dip. That is the design working exactly as intended. So before anyone tells you this is the future of finance, let us be honest about what it actually is. It is a casino, and the dice belong to someone else. Here is what Pump.fun actually is, stripped of the slang. It is a launchpad on Solana where anyone can spin up a meme coin in about 30 seconds. No product, no promise, just a name, a picture, and a chart. And the pitch, the thing they never say out loud but everyone feels, is simple. Get in early, find the next greater fool, get out before the music stops. That is the whole game. It only works if someone after you is dumber or slower than you. And math has a brutal way of making sure that someone is usually you. And then there is the part they really do not want framed honestly, the insiders. In April this year, the on-chain investigator Zach XBT looked at a token called Rave and laid it out in public. Roughly 75% of the entire supply was sitting in a handful of wallets, all linked back to the operators. Our Rave spiked 3,765% in a single week. Then it cratered. That is not a market, that is a magic trick. The house owns most of the chips, lights the fuse, lets you pile in on the way up, and walks out the back the second it pops. Now widen the lens, because Rave is not a glitch, it is the whole sector in miniature. The total memecoin market cap peaked at $150.6 billion back in December of 2024. By November of last year, it had collapsed to about $47.2 billion. That is over $100 billion in paper wealth that simply evaporated. And here is the part that matters. That money did not vanish. It moved. From a lot of small hands into a few big ones, on the way down, exactly like every casino has worked since the first one opened its doors. And watch how the platform itself behaves when the model breaks. Pump.fun spent ages telling people it would take all its revenue and burn its own token. Use the cash to make the supply scarce, prop up the price, reward the believers. Sounds great. In April, they quietly abandoned that policy. Why? Because it did not work. The price would not hold even with the burns, after a $370 million wipeout. So the promise that was supposed to protect you got dropped the moment it stopped protecting them. Notice the pattern. The rules are firm right up until they cost the house. So let us name the thing. This is gambling dressed up as investing, and the costume is the whole con. A casino at least has the decency to call itself a casino. It hangs no clocks, pours free drinks, and tells you up front the odds are against you. Pump.fun does the same thing but wraps it in the language of finance. Portfolio, position, entry, exit. Those words are there to make you feel like an investor while you behave like a gambler. And the 4% who walk out ahead are not smarter. They are the survivors a rigged game always produces, paraded around to keep the rest of you seated. Here is the part I keep coming back to on this channel. The problem is not that you wanted to own a piece of something. That instinct is right. The problem is what they sold you to satisfy it. A token with no floor, no asset, no claim on anything real, controlled by people whose wallets you cannot see. Wanting ownership is healthy. Buying a raffle ticket and calling it ownership is how they harvest that instinct and sell it back to you at a markup. So the next time someone shows you a chart going vertical and tells you the early people are getting rich, ask the only question that matters. Who owns the supply, and can you see their wallets? If the answer is no, you already know your role. You are not the player. You are the pot. 96% is not a warning label they forgot to print. It is the business plan. Stop volunteering to be the 96. If you actually want a stake in something instead of a seat at a table that was built to take it, that is the whole point of what I keep pushing here. This is the ownership stuff in practice, MXEL, where contributing earns you a real piece instead of a raffle ticket at mxl.com. Stay loud.